Hello guys, so it's finally getting cold out, which makes me want to do nothing but cozy activities such as watching a movie, drinking hot cocoa, or even doing a thrift flip. Surprise! Today we are doing exactly what the video is titled. It was in fact not clickbait, and we are going to be making some improvements hopefully to some winter inspired pieces I got from the thrift store. So let's get started. Our first victim today is this vintage, but not in the good way, 100% wool dress. I'm not exactly sure what silhouette they were going for, but in its original state, it kind of just felt like I was wearing an apron. It also has these really large armholes that reminded me of how when I was in middle school and people would DIY t-shirts into tank tops by cutting like extra large armholes in them. This dress has button openings on both sides and surprisingly also pockets. I wanted to make sure to keep these features because I didn't want to do anything crazy like adding zippers. So my brilliant idea was to take advantage of the long skirt and bring it up to make it have more of a baby doll shape. Like I mentioned before, I wanted to keep the side buttons on the dress, so I had to leave the bottom 2 inches of the bodice part intact. That's when I realized that it would result in an awkward corner in the middle of the armhole, so instead I decided to take out the entire middle section. This way I was also able to keep a smooth edge on the armhole. After I decided where to pin it, I hit it with a good old straight stitch, and not pictured, but I also took the matching chunk out of the back. This is what it looked like after, and I was very surprised by how hard it actually is to tell that there's a seam in the middle of the front. At this point, the top half was looking great, but the dress as a whole was giving me maternity wear for some reason, so I went in with some cropping action. Here I am pinning where I want the new length of the dress to be. I just pinned and sewed it all the way around, but I did make an effort to sew my stitch directly on one of the black lines in the plaid pattern so that the thread would be a little bit more hidden. And then finally, I just trimmed off the extra fabric. Okay, so this is the dress completed. I just got over a cold, so my throat still kind of hurts. I actually really liked when I was wearing that long sleeve underneath the dress when I was trying it on and cutting it and folding it. So I thought a turtleneck would be super cute, like poking out the top. The turtleneck brings out more of the wintry vibes and also will obviously keep you warm. The length came out so perfectly. It is just a bit longer than my fingertips. I haven't cut out the middle panel of the section I took out of the front or the back yet, just because I don't think I sewed it in the straightest line. So I might come back and fix that later. And then I thought this dress would look super cute with either loafers or Uggs, depending on the vibe. So with loafers, I think it looks a little bit more polished. I feel like it's giving schoolgirl in a very chic way. And I think it's also really putting the baby in Babydoll. Like, I think if you go to a holiday party, there's a really high chance that there is a child wearing the same outfit as you. And also probably looking cuter. So with the Uggs, I think it's a little bit more of a cozier look. This might also be really ugly. I think I'm just on a wearing Uggs with everything wave right now, but on second thought, I think the loafers is much better. This outfit could also look really cute with tights. I don't own tights, so I can't really show you, but I think it would be really cute. I'm also so happy that I was able to keep the pockets. They're kind of up here now, but not that inconvenient, and you can definitely still like keep your phone on you. So that would be like really convenient if you don't like carrying a purse. Okay, on to the next thrift flip. The second item I have for you today are these very large men's pants. I've been on the hunt for the perfect oversized trousers that are also good quality, but also not insanely expensive. In my head, I imagine that if I added some pleats to the waist and kept the legs as is, I would end up with the perfect pleated baggy trousers. I'd like to note that I specifically got trousers that didn't already have any pleats in the front because I didn't want it to be too bulky or have too many pleats in the front when I add more. Here I am measuring how much total I want to take out of the waist. I started by ripping out the front and back belt loops so that I could place my pleats. I'm evenly distributing the pleats between 2 front pleats and 1 back pleat thing. I measured the two front pleats to make sure they were even before I flipped the pants inside out to pin them. I wanted to make sure my pleats were matching in angle and length, so I took a piece of chalk to sketch out a line before I went in with my sewing machine. Due to poor planning on my part, my pleats happened to be on top of the pant pockets, so I did this weird maneuver where I sewed the waistband and then moved the pocket out of the way before I continued down the line so that I wouldn't encroach on any of the pocket space. I'm pretty sure that's not standard sewing procedure, but that's just what I did. I then took in the rest of the fabric in the back and did my best to smoothly blend it in with the original butt crotch seam line thingy. And finally, I hemmed the pants and hand stitched the belt loops back on. I used the belt loops to cover the seams on the waistband, and guys, hand sewing is not for the faint of heart. Okay, so here is the final product of the pants. I think they look very clean, surprisingly. I think sewing the belt loops over the pleats actually makes all of the difference. My only qualm with these pants is the extremely low crotch area. Although I will say that when I've tried on Reformation's oversized trousers, I felt like they had an extremely low crotch area as well. So maybe it actually looks fine. I think I might just be more averse to lower crotch areas. I don't really know. But I think they look super good. The length is perfect. The bagginess is perfect. It fits my waist really well. I think I would wear sneakers with these. Like so. Maybe add like a little sweater. I think because they're bigger, baggier pants, I would definitely wear like a tighter fitting top or sweater. Or pretend that I'm wearing a long sleeve. Wearing it with a scarf. I feel like this is super cute. Also, if you guys didn't notice, I didn't cut out any of the pleated sections just because I don't know if oversized pants will be in forever, and I think it would be nice if I could return these pants to the ecosystem one day unharmed. They're not bulky enough that they really bother me, so I just left them. And then last but not least, our third thrift flip. Before we get to our last item, here's me chugging water because whenever I do any kinds of arts and crafts project, I literally forget to eat and drink for hours and I was so dehydrated. Okay, last but definitely not least, I thrifted this plain knit white shirt. Usually when I do thrift flips, I find the clothing item first and then am inspired by it afterwards. But for this thrift flip, I had a specific idea in mind already. I was inspired by these bow cutout cardigan-esque tops I keep seeing on Pinterest. I was initially looking for a cardigan since it's already open on the front, but couldn't find a good one, so I went with this top instead. First, I'm cutting open the front of the shirt to turn it into a cardigan-esque thing. To hem it, I folded over the edges and sewed it down super quickly and trimmed off the excess. Next, I made a bunch of little bows from some ribbon I already had, which definitely was a bit tedious, and I also used my lighter to melt the ends of the bows so that they don't fray. Please be careful if you're gonna do this. I attached the bows using hand sewing, which was a lot easier than I thought. And then last minute, I decided to improvise a ruched sleeve and attach 2 more bows. I used hand sewing to do this too, and at this point, it was starting to get pretty dark and I was starting to get super tired, so apologies for the bad video quality. Okay, this is the final product. Ignore the terrible lighting. Daylight savings is literally ruining my life. I hate it. I hate winter, and I want to move to California so bad. Anyways, I think it looks so good. It looks better than I imagined. I love the ruching on the sleeve with the little bow, which I added last minute, and I really like that these bows are sort of longer or like more dangly because they kind of swish around when I move. My only qualm is that the neck maybe looks a little weird, so maybe I should like tuck it so that it's smooth rather than having this weird corner. Not really sure, but I will definitely be wearing this. What I love about this top is that I did machine stitch the edges of the cardigan, but you can actually do that by hand, so you can pretty much do this all by hand. So if you don't have a sewing machine, you can still try it out. I think that's it. We're rapidly losing daylight, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay warm. Bye!